Well, John Durham's latest court filing in their criminal case against Michael Sussman details how the Clinton campaign perpetuated a narrative that a server connected to a Russian bank was facilitating secret communications between Trump and Russia. That was later proven to be unfounded. Durham says a tech executive, Rodney Jaffe, tasked researchers with mining internet data to establish an inference, a narrative tying Trump to Russia. Well, the Wall Street Journal calling this one of the dirtiest tricks in political history. Joining me now is Tom Fitton, president of Judicial Watch. Tom, great to have you. Sussman's lawyers responded to that court filing, by the way, and we know that they're asking to remove Durham's factual background section from the filing, arguing that it would further politicize this case, inflame media coverage, and taint the jury pool. Sussman also, of course, filed a motion to have this case dismissed altogether, saying it could discourage other people from coming forward. What is the significance of his charge that he lied to a federal agent, but not disclosing the fact that he was working on behalf of the campaign?
Well, what he's trying to say in his filings is that it was just a tip I was giving them. You can't put me in jail because I wasn't correct as to who I was there for in terms of giving a tip to the FBI or subsequently to the CIA. But what Durham is saying is, well, it's more than just about that. There was significant other questionable activity, although no one's been charged for it specifically, behind this, which was a spy operation targeting candidate Trump, and then it looks like President Trump. And they were misusing a government contract based on what Durham is telling us, perhaps to gain access to it. I know separately, Judicial Watch uncovered that some of the tech operatives that the Clinton gang was using had a contract with DARPA, which is a major agency in the Pentagon. And the question arises, were they using, and frankly, Durham raises this, were they using government contracts and access to access data they weren't supposed to get for the purposes they were using it for? I mean, it's one thing to say, hey, I can look at this stuff because I've got access. It's another thing to say, I'm going to take this material that's confidential about American citizens and use it for political purposes to try to destroy someone. In this case, it was President Trump. He's a crime victim, there's no doubt about it.
Yeah, Congressman Turner had an interesting statement in response to Sussman's attorney's efforts to try to take out that section, thinking that it would possibly taint the jury. He said he either needs to get better representation or it would probably be in his best interest to cooperate. Does that signal to you that he's saying that there could be even more here?
Yeah, I'm hoping there's more here, because if this is the end of the Durham investigation, it's going to be a terrible disappointment. Look, the kind of take no prisoners approach is typical of Clinton world in approaching criminal investigations. They admit nothing, attack prosecutors. Starr went through this, Barr went through this, Nunes went through this. Judicial Watch is going through it on the private side, and Durham, you can bet, is going to be torn apart by Clinton world. You're already seeing the media echo the politicized response of Hillary Clinton and in this case, Sussman. I mean, Sussman's lawyers aren't going to confess that he committed a crime in these filings. They're doing what defense lawyers do, and they're doing it in the Clinton way.
Tom, to pick up on your point, the story went largely unreported in the media, but CNN's Brian Stelter published this response. Right-wing media said it was exposing a scandal. What it really revealed is how bad information spreads in MAGA world. Now we're seeing numerous op-eds from editorial boards, including the New York Times, dismissing this altogether and basically trying to debunk all of these claims. What do you make of the fact that so many prominent outlets are now not only, they're going from not reporting it to actually trying to explain to the public why this is nothing and they shouldn't pay attention to it?
Well, it's par for the course from the corrupt legacy media. They were part of the crime spree against President Trump with Russiagate. happily reporting classified information and being disingenuous about its sourcing to try to destroy Trump, which was all part of Russiagate. They know who was leaking the lies to them. They haven't released that information. What does the New York Times know? What does the Washington Post know? Facebook, and again, it's kind of like what happened with Hunter Biden as well. They suppressed that story. And in this case, you have a federal court filing on behalf of the United States government raising the specter of Hillary Clinton's campaign team, or at least her campaign operatives, somehow being involved with spying on the executive office of the president. And you have the media trying to defend Hillary. And on top of that, you have big tech suppressing information. I mean, there was a basic Fox News story that correctly characterized it. Anyone who posted that story on Facebook right now is being censored and suppressed because of some ridiculous, quote, left-wing fact check that follows the Clinton line in trying to minimize the crimes of Hillary Clinton. We're in the middle, and I call it the Great Suppression. And the media is the enemy of truth in this regard. And that's why they hate the internet, and that's why they hate free speech, because the truth is getting through despite their best efforts.
Tom Fitton, great points you've made there. We appreciate you being with us. Thank you.
You're welcome.